Yadme Yuhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Savitriya Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Yadme Duituragrahi.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Savitriya Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukataha.
Panim Vipragni Mukataha.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat. Esha me Shishyatam Prapto. Esha me Shishyatam Prapto. Yadme Duhitur Agrahit. Yadme Duhitur Agrahit. Panim Vipragni Mukata. Panim Vipragni Mukata. Savitra Iva Sadhuvat. Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukataha.
Panim Vipragni Mukataha.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
By the way, Gopiparana Prabhu told me that you don't elongate the A, H on the third or first line, only in the second and fourth. That's a grammatical thing.
Mukata.
Mukata. You don't say mukataha. Only on the second and fourth line you can say elongated like that. All right, go ahead.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Savitraya Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Savitra Eva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Ladies,
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto.
Esha me Shishyatam Prapto. Yadme Duhitur Agrahit.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Panim Vipragni Mukata.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Savitra Iva Sadhuvat.
Esha,
Esha.
he, Shiva,
Shiva.
me, my,
Shishyatam.
Shishyatam, subordinate position,
Subordinate position.
Raptaha,
Praptaha.
accepted,
Accepted.
Yat, because, me duhitu,
Duhitu.
of my daughter,
Of my daughter.
Agrahi,
Agrahit.
he took,
Ani.
the hand, Vipra Agni,
Vipragni.
of Brahmanas and fire,
Of Brahmanas and fire.
Mukata,
Mukata.
and the presence,
In the presence.
Savitriya,
Savitriya.
Gayatri,
Gayatri.
Eva, like Sadhuvat,
Sadhuvat.
like an honest person.
Like an honest person.
He has already accepted himself as my subordinate by marrying my daughter in the presence of fire and Brahmanas. He has married my daughter, who is equal to Gayatri, and has pretended to be just like an honest person. Are we not committing offenses by repeating what he's saying? Just in case, you know. All right, purport. Daksha's statement that Lord Shiva pretended to be an honest person means that Shiva was dishonest because in spite of accepting the position of Daksha's son-in-law, he was not respectful to Daksha. I mean to say, respect is not demanded, but commanded by. So, I mean, even if somebody commands respect, if he doesn't receive it, he doesn't get angry because he is humble, he doesn't have false ego, so to speak. Somebody who deserves to be respected, if he disrespected, he doesn't protest. That's the nature of a saintly person. So although Shiva was being chastised, I mean to say, offended, insulted by Daksha, Shiva didn't react. He just remained humble and tolerant. So in that sense, just by remaining silent, Lord Shiva defeated Daksha. Usually when somebody is criticizing or speaking ill of us, we want to, speak back, defeat the person, you're wrong. I mean, but we see Lord Shiva's behavior is far superior than Daksha's behavior. That shows us that although Daksha considered Lord Shiva to be his dependent or subordinate position, just because he married his daughter. I mean, generally speaking, yes, the son-in-law has to respect the father-in-law. That's common sense, But the problem with Daksha, he could not understand that Lord Shiva's exalted position was so high that he was always in meditation on the Supreme Lord. So the reason he didn't stood up, although Brahma himself did it, and Brahma was superior to Daksha. He created him, I mean to say. So, but Lord Shiva's position even higher to Brahma's position. Because every creation, different living entities may occupy the post of Brahma. But Lord Shiva is always the same person, the same position, never changes. So that makes him much superior even to Brahma. Although Lord Shiva appeared from the eyebrows of Lord Brahma when he was angry at his sons, the Kumaras, because he wanted them to get married and they didn't want to. So he got angry because of their disobedience. But it said that that's the only thing the disciple can deny Guru to get married if he doesn't want to. The Guru may be putting him to test too. There's a story when the devotee went to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada, I want to take sannyas. Prabhupada said, and that's what's in Mayapur, Prabhupada said, no, you should get married. Prabhupada said. Next day he came to see Prabhupada, here is my fiancée. He didn't waste any time, immediately. Next day. So he said, just in case it doesn't work that way, then I already have plan B set up. Doesn't work that way. So, this story when Srila Vyasadeva was writing, well, he wasn't writing actually, he asked Lord Ganesh to write the Mahabharata, he will dictate. So Ganesh put the condition that he will dictate non-stop. That was, and he was using his own task to write. So anyway, in the middle of the writing, he came to one verse that's saying that even very advanced devotees may fall down. So Ganesh, he had doubts about that. So he told his Guru Vyasadeva, I have serious doubt about this. How is it possible for very learned, very advanced devotee, to fall down? And Srila Vyasadeva told him, okay, I will tell you about this tomorrow. Now it's too late. I have to go visit somebody, and tomorrow morning we'll talk about this. Okay. But be careful, Ganesh. You will be alone in the ashram I'm living, so take care of yourself. Yeah, yes, of course. So Ganesh was in his room, and somebody in the middle of the night was knocking on his door. So he asked behind the door, "Who's this?" "Oh, I'm a lady, I'm frightened because some thieves are after me, and please give me shelter." "Oh, no, I'm a brahmachari, I can't do that. Please, otherwise I will be hurt, they maybe kill me or rape me, whatever. Please do something, help me." So finally he opened the door. And it was a very beautiful young girl, He said, okay, you can stay in my room. You lock the door from inside and don't open the door to anyone. Yes, okay. I will go sleep somewhere else. So he went to sleep, but while trying to sleep, the image of the young, beautiful girl smiling at him and all this came to his mind. So he started to contemplate, maybe she likes me, that's why she came here, Maybe I should knock on the door, try to have a conversation, see if she really, interested in me. So he went knocking on the door, and the girl said, "Yes, who is this?" "Me, Ganesh, can you please open the door?" "No, I'm sorry, I can't. You told me not to open the door to anyone." "Yes, to anyone but me. For me, I am the one who allowed you in this room. Please open the door." "I'm sorry, you told me not to open to anyone, so I'm not going to open."
Sounds like Abhinanda.
So Ganesh got disturbed and he took an axe and started breaking down the door. And finally he broke the door down. And the girl was covered with a blanket herself, frightened, trembling, and he grabbed the blanket and pulled it out and was Vyasadeva beneath the blanket. I told you, Vyasadeva, even advanced devotee, if they don't take care, they can fall down. That's the proof. So Ganesha said, "Yes, Gurudev, you're right, always right. I am wrong." So anyway, Lord Shiva is famous for being dhira, self-control. When he lost his wife Sati, she was reborn as who? Parvati, of course. And Shiva was a meditation and renounced. But the demigods, they needed a commander to fight the demons. And they thought, what better commander than the son of Lord Shiva would be the perfect commander. But he's in deep meditation. So they went to Parvati and asked her, please do something, wake him up and agitate him a little bit, so he will want to marry you and have a kid, we need a commander to fight the demons. So Parvati went and she was trying to chant or dance, whatever, to attract that, but nothing was happening. So the demigod said, do whatever needed, So she was trying to touch the genitals of Lord Shiva, but even then he was not disturbed at all. When it happened that Kamadev tried to attack Lord Shiva, when that happened? And this past time I'm narrating or a different one?
You're asking?
I'm asking. Anyway, maybe in this or other pastime, Kamadeva, Cupid himself, was trying to... first, before her, came Kamadeva to try to agitate. The demigod asked Kamadeva, Cupid, to agitate Lord Shiva first, before calling Parvati. So Kamadeva, throws some arrows at, lusty arrows at Shiva too. These are subtle, not like actual arrows, like mantras or something, in the form of a subtle arrow to agitate the person. And, but of course Shiva didn't get disturbed at all. But he opened his third eye, he has a third eye. He opened his third eye and looked at Kamadeva, not pleased at all, displeased. And by that look, Kamadeva became into ashes. He was burned up.
He became a Nanga. He became a Nanga.
Without body. Without body. But he was reborn. Kamadeva was reborn. As who? No, not you, somebody else. I want to see who's awake here. Who was reborn as? As one of Krishna's...
Oh, you mean Pradyumna?
Yes, Pradyumna, correct. Now, is Pradyumna Kamadeva? That's the question. No. Kamadeva is an expansion of Pradyumna. It's the original Kamadeva. The spiritual Kamadeva. The other one is not the spiritual, so to speak. Anyway, but there was one demon kidnapped Pradyumna and throw him into the ocean. And one big fish swallowed him. And one Melecha king sent the fisherman to fishes, and he brought this big fish to the kitchen. When they opened the belly, the baby was there. A big fish swallowed Pradyumna. So the king was happy to have a baby, so he gave it to the kitchen lady to take care of. So the kitchen lady started with him as a son, bathing and feeding him. And suddenly he started to grow up very fast. He became a young, beautiful man. Then she showed attraction, conjugal attraction to him. And he was, what is this? You first treat me as a mother, now as a lover. What is this behavior? It's not proper, This reminds me story when Arjuna went to the heavenly planets. One of the most famous apsaras fell in love with him. What was her name?
Ujeshwari? Urvasi.
Urvasi. She fell in love with Arjuna. And she openly told him, I like you, let's have a loving affair. Shiva said, I'm very sorry, but you are the mother of my ancestors. So I can only see you as mother. I can't see you any other way. It's not possible for me. Because you are the mother of my ancestors. I see you as mother. She said, that's not important for us, demigod. That's maybe for humans. For us, it's not important. Please, let's have some loving affair. And then he insisted, no, I can't. He didn't change his mind. No matter how beautiful she was, that's culture, because it is said by Chanakya Pandit, one should see all women as mother except one's wife. So, one should see other properties as garbage thrown this evening. You don't want to take something that doesn't belong to you. And one should see all living entities equally. One should not discriminate because of the body, whatever, animal or human or whatever. No discrimination. Coming yesterday from Tijuana to San Diego, we saw many people with protesting, leave the children out of the camp, concentration camp or something. Because these are children from Central America or Mexico. If they were from Europe, it would be another story. They will not be put there. So there is discrimination. There is race discrimination, whatever. Even Trump said that. We want people from Europe to come, not from this, what he called them to come.
You don't want to repeat what
I don't want to repeat that. Anyway, whatever. But this says there's a lot of discrimination based on color and race and nationality everywhere. Even Prabhupada once protested, he said, he spoke about that once, that I'm coming in country, what do you come here for? What do you want to do here? So many questions. Prabhupada says, like a dog barking, don't come to my house. Here is a human being coming, you know. I mean, this is God's property, it's not your property. You know? Anyway, that's another subject. But the point is that Arjuna, he could not change his mind. So Urvasi became angry and cursed him. You become eunuch for 1 year.
You become what?
Eunuch. Effeminate. So Arjuna took advantage of that 1 year to be in disguise while he had to hide, himself from Duryodhana. That was the arrangement. If they were discovered, then they would have to go another 12 years in exile. So the curse was good for that 1 year. I mean, nobody could guess that was Arjuna, no matter what. The way he behaved and dressed and everything was completely like a gay, so to speak.
He was the dancing teacher.
He was a dancing teacher to Uttara, the princess.
Brihanela.
Anyway, that's funny. Prabhupada said about Arjuna and Kunti in one letter, he said, Arjuna and Kunti, they are not in the spiritual world ever. They are always in the material world with Krishna. So wherever Krishna goes, in any other universe, they are there with him. And Arjuna doesn't have a spiritual body, Prabhupada said. He has a material body. But he's an eternal liberated soul. He can be with Krishna at the same time in different universes simultaneously, in the different bodies. One soul. So powerful, no? Prabhupada said the same way that Krishna has avatar, his eternal liberated soul, they also can have avatars. Even Srimad Goswami explains that the inhabitants of Goloka Vrindavan, they have their expansions in Vaikuntha, and also in the heavenly planets when Krishna is coming to this earthly planet, they first expand themselves as demigods, and from there they come here. So when Krishna takes them back, they go back to the original from when they expanded first. For example, we know that Garuda, who's from Vaikuntha, is an expansion of Sridhar, Radharani's brother. And even Narad Muni is an expansion of Madhumangala, Krishna's Brahmin friend. But the way it happened with Narad Muni is very interesting. It's a unique tattva, so to speak. Because he was actually a conditioned soul who became liberated. But at the time he became Narad, an Amsha or part from Madhumangala entered him. So he became both partially who became liberated and partially eternally liberated at the same time.
That would explain the Chaitanya Charitamrita where you've got Haridas Thakur is both Lord Brahma, and you've got those mixed.
Yeah. Well, recently one Lord asked me the question, if Brahma became Haridas and he got liberated, then why the universe wasn't destroyed? When Brahma becomes liberated, the universe has to be destroyed.
What, there was a vacancy and it crashed?
Something like that, anyway. Who occupied the post of Brahma during that time? That was nothing, I mean to say, a few years in this earth planet was like a few moments, a little moment in Brahma just.
But sometimes even Krishna steps in to take charge when there's no one to do it.
Of course, I mean, when it's needed. But in this case wasn't needed. When once a descendant of Lord Brahma, maybe the great-grandson or something, was a king, he arrived in Brahma with his daughter to speak with Lord Brahma. So the doorkeeper told him, you have to wait until the Gandharva concert is finished, then he can receive you. Okay. So the Gandharva was a very nice concert, beautiful, and after some time they finished, so they allowed the king my great-grandfather, I need your advice on something very important. And please help me. Yes, what you need to ask. Well, there are many sweeteners to my daughter's hand, and I don't know which one of them is best for her, so I need your advice. And he started telling all the names of kings and princes and all this. And Brahma gave him a big laugh, Oh, please don't laugh, this is a very serious matter. No, I'm laughing because while you waiting, hearing the concert, all of them died, and their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren all passed away. So I can't recommend any of them. So the poor king became more old, and he asked them, please advise me somebody now. Okay. Right now, Krishna and Balram are appearing on earth. If you go right now back, by the time you reach earth, Balram will be grown up, so you can marry your daughter to him. They are meant for each other. Oh, thank you so much. So he came down and offered his daughter's hand to Balram, and Balram accepted because who is she? Her name, anybody knows? Revati. Revati, yes, Revati. His eternal wife. But Balram wasn't happy with that marriage. You know why? Because she was from the previous yuga and she was much taller than him. So he wasn't happy with that situation. So he took his plow and put it on her shoulder and shrink her to his size, So then he was happy, okay. Now we can deal with each other, Anyway, time is relative, Time is relative. When Brahma stole the cows and the boys from Krishna, in the Brahma Bhagavatam Purana it is explained that he first thought to take them to his Brahmalok. And he was going to Brahmalok with them. But Krishna, being omniscient and more clever, he arrived first in Brahmalok taking the shape of Brahma. And he told the doorkeepers, there is a false Brahma around here. If he comes, don't allow him in my planet, please. And I'm going to change the password to come into the planet. There is mantras, protecting each planet,
I didn't know.
Yeah. So when the real Brahma came, he could not come into his own planet. He was kicked out, So he came down to earth again. And that round trip to Brahmalok, 1 year, human year passed. So he put the boys and the calves in a cave, put a big rock covering the cave. And he went to see what happened. Of course, when he saw the covered boys and calves, he said, wow, I'm the only creator of this universe. Who created these boys and calves? Then he understood his defeat, he was defeated. In one sense, he was happy he was defeated. I have such a wonderful master as Krishna. So, and for that full year, nobody noticed. Krishna expanded himself on all the covered boys and calves. He did a perfect role. Each and every living entity has his own unique way of being, speaking, manners, dressing, whatever, unique way. Every soul has a unique relationship with Krishna. When the soul achieve perfection, Krishna may show that particular soul one aspect only meant for that soul only. So anyway, but Krishna took advantage to do many things while he expanded himself into the cows the calves and the boys. And he allowed all the mothers of Vrindavan to have him as a son. They were astonished. How is it possible? We love our children, but we love Krishna even more. But now we are loving our children equally as Krishna. That's astonishing. Why is this happening? And that same day, this demon Arishtasura was killed. And nobody knew in Vrindavan about it until 1 year passed. It's interesting that the Prabhupada explained the same way that Ravana was given a Maya Sita to kidnap. Also Brahma didn't take the actual cowboys and calves. So how that happened, there's no more explanation, even just like that. So there are things that we are beyond our understanding. We can't grasp everything. It's not possible. I mean, even Lord Shiva once told his wife Parvati about the Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, Aham veti, Shukka veti, Vyasa veti, na veti va. I know the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami knows the Srimad Bhagavatam, but Vyasa may know or may not know. Interesting statement. How he has written the Bhagavatam and may not understand it. That means that whatever Krishna may reveal through the living entity, the living entity may be an instrument for that revelation, but may not understand everything what is being revealed through him or her. And I use that when I sometimes give seminar about the poetry of Saint John of the Cross. It's interesting, his poetry, because he speaks of God as the lover or the husband, and the soul as the wife, or like that. And there is a passage of his poetry, the soul searching for God and asking the plants, have you seen my beloved passing through here? Like the God is asking the flowers and trees like that. And he speaks about making garlands, about taking care of cows, and pasturing grounds. And you say, wow, how he knew all these things. So that may be a revelation without his full understanding what he was passing through it. Anyway, so here we find that Daksha, not understanding properly Lord Shiva's position, he jumped to conclusion. That's the problem. He jumped to conclusion. He didn't wait patiently to speak personally with Lord Shiva to know why he didn't stood up to welcome him. I mean, in one sense, he was right. The son-in-law has to respect his father-in-law. When the father-in-law comes in, he should stand up to welcome him. That's like a social norm, But Lord Shiva was above all social norms. He was an avaduta, He didn't behave like any other demigods or anything like that. The way he dressed, the way he behaved, everything was difficult to understand for most people. And for Daksha included, of course. I mean, if he had a little patient and instead of speaking publicly in front of everyone, criticizing Lord Shiva, which was a big mistake, what was his downfall, so to speak? Pride. What is the saying? Downfall comes after pride.
They say same thing, pride goes before a fall.
Yeah, right. Pride goes before a fall. So that's the main problem. And jumping to conclusions without investigating first 100%, I've seen anybody jump to a conclusion like that about anything without thinking. There's the danger to commit offense. Because if you call a thief is not offense, but if you call an honest person a thief, then you're making a big offense, and you may pay heavily for it. So,
As Daksha did.
Yeah, like Daksha did. You have to pay heavily with its own hand, not just figuratively, but
He lost his head.
he lost his hand. But he was given another hand. Which had he received? The gold. But interestingly, he didn't speak like a gold, he spoke like a person. But Prabhupada explained about that the soul doesn't depend on the brain, but the soul's presence, conscious presence is really the most important thing. And I mean, We're proud here in this earth planet that we have done the heart transplant and all this. We are talking about head transplant. They haven't come to that level yet. But of course, this happened different planet too. I mean, when the Ashwini Kumaras wanted to hear from a great sage some particular knowledge, but he told them, I'm very sorry, I made a promise to the sage who gave it to me that I will not repeat it to anyone else. So I can't go against my promise. They said, that's not a problem, we can deal with that. We can change your head to horse head, then the horse is speaking, not you. We receive the knowledge, and then we put back your own head, don't worry. So he agreed. So they did that. Heart transplant, and with the head of horses, gave the knowledge they needed, and then put back the previous head.
That's the origin of their name. Ashwini means head. Ashwini means horse. Ashwini. Ashwini is horse.
Yeah. Ashwini Kumaras, they are this, young, very celestial doctors. There are many stories about them. I mean, they do amazing things. Like once, one king with his daughter, the princess, they were wandering in the forest, I mean, like a picnic or something. And the girl, young girl, she saw anthill. But she saw something shining inside the anthill. So she took a twig and pierced the hole. And inside the anthill was a sage having meditation. So she pierced his eye. His eye was bleeding. And the sage was really angry. And the king knew the danger, he may curse both of us, So he immediately, to pacify the sage, offered this young daughter to him as a wife. And they are training, the girls have the training from childhood to accept their father's, decisions. So the girl agreed immediately. And the sage was old and ugly, and he married her. And she was dutifully serving him and everything, chastely and nicely. But the sage understood that she was not happy with that marriage because he was too old for her. So he called the Ashwini Kumaras for help. And both came. And they agreed to help him. So they made a lake with special herbs and mantras. And the three of them entered, they had to help him to come inside the lake. And when they came out, they were 3 young men. So the girl, out of shyness, didn't lower her head. She didn't know which one of them was her husband. Until the Ashwini Kumara told her who he was, then she showed affection. So when her father came to visit, he saw her with a young man embracing. He said, what is this? This is going to be unacceptable, you just got married, now you're cheating on your husband. No, this is my actual husband, So the king was pacified like that. So, you see, the very culture, it's a bite from childhood. That's why we see that for Westerners, it's very difficult to understand sometimes certain things. Because we see it in the eye or outgrown, the culture we receive, the nature culture. So that's why we have difficulty understanding certain stories and behavior of certain people. I was shocked to hear one lady, devotee, criticizing Lord Ramachandra because he sent his wife to exile while being pregnant. He says, well, that's completely unfair, this is completely wrong, I mean, if you see it from the material point of view, she is right, but she doesn't understand the culture. That's the problem, because she didn't grow in that culture. She doesn't have difficulty understanding it. The actual reason Lord Ramachandra didn't want to send his pregnant wife in exile, he was forced to do by the circumstances. He was in pain of her separation. he asked his brother Lakshmana to take her to the ashram of Valmiki. And you know the reason why he did that? Lord Ramchandra will disguise himself every evening and will go around his kingdom just to hear people's opinion about how he's ruling them as a good king, you know. He wanted to be sure every citizen is happy with his administration. One day he passed in front of a house of a Shudra, and the Shudra was having a fight with his wife. So he stopped listening. And the Shudra was telling his wife, you spend the night with another man, and you're coming now like nothing happened. You think I'm gonna keep you, maintain you? You're completely mistaken. I'm not like Ramchandra, his wife was with this Ravana, and he still accepted her back. I'm not like him. Go away from wherever you came. When Ramchandra heard that, he was really preoccupied, you know. So he went to talk the ministers about what he heard. What should I do? So the minister called the Shudra to the palace to chastise him. You should have not spoken like that for this and whatever. And the Shudra told him, like, you are all learned Brahmanas, I am Shudra, but I'm going to ask you only one question. If your wife leaves you and goes another man, and she wants to come back, will you accept her? And all the Brahmanas were not silent. They couldn't answer that question. So in that way, they were defeated by the Shudra. And because of their defeat, Lord Ramchandra was obliged to send his wife into exile as a king, not as a husband. His husband he would never do it as a husband. He was really attached and in love with his wife. But as a king, he was forced to do it because of the culture of that time. Sometimes when they put the culture like at this time now, you just tell her she passed through the fire, that's the big deal, go away, you know. Doesn't work that way. At that time, that culture doesn't work that way. Things were very much stricter than now. So, anyway, I'm going to stop here. Any comment or questions, corrections?
I think we better wrap it up because it's Sunday's a busy day for the devotees.
Yeah.
It's just one or two questions. but-
Yeah, of course. Of course, I just stopped to ask if anybody has a comment or a question.
If they do, I don't mean to shut them down, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. All right. No questions. Thank you very much. Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Lord Premanandi.